What's up, everybody? Welcome back to My Twisted Life and TV. I am Poetry. You are here for another recap and review of Ready to Love. This is season 5, episode 10, True Colors. Now, I know y'all been waiting on me like a missed period. I know you have. Saturday came around, y'all was like, where's she at? Where's she at? Where's she at? And I wasn't there. Then all of a sudden, boom, I popped up right now. And you're happy as a lark. I hope you're happy as a lark. Just like you was happy when that missed period came back around. Yes, I'm here. We about to get into the episode. I finally settled in to the new location. Like I said, we're gonna be here like about 5 weeks. Hopefully that's it. And then I will be able to damn it, I left my water on the other side of the room. Hold on. Okay, I'm back because I need my water because I'm gonna be talking a lot, y'all. Yeah, hopefully I'll be able to settle in and get my own house by then. It may sound a little different because I did move my mic too. I broke it during the move. I broke the cord, so it's like hanging on by a thread. So hopefully I ain't got no type of feedback or nothing like that. Look here, we're gonna start this off. I have never been so wrong about people on this show before, with the exception of last season. I was wrong about them too, and the one before that. Both Houston casts, I think I was just wrong. But the one before that, I was spot on. Actually, you know what? I was kind of spot on with the cast members as well as far as personalities. But how the outcomes of things happen, I wasn't spot on last season. But season 3, I was spot on. Anywho, I started off this season side-eyeing Aisha, not really liking Sabrina much, and Mumin and Zadia were my top 2, right? Man, was I wrong? I ended up really liking Aisha. I don't side-eye Sabrina no more, but she alright, you know what I'm saying? She alright. Mumin, I'm still rooting for her. I still like Mumin, but Zadia, baby. Couldn't be me. I'm telling you, that's gonna be my phrase ever since Dante said it last week. Couldn't be me. So Mumin, like I say, you know, she was one of my favorites, but she is very influenced by her cousin Camille. And Camille was the one who put pressure on that girl to do that whole little piano singing, you know what I'm saying? But Zadia, okay, before I get too deep into this recap review, Ready to Love does not come on next week. It is going to be on in 2 weeks, which is New Year's Eve, which is stupid. But yeah, they should have just took a 2-week break instead of just taking off 1 week. But they taking off next week through the Thanksgiving. But you gonna come on New Year's Eve when everybody party out drinking and stuff? Ain't nobody gonna sit home watching Ready to Love but me? Because I don't do nothing New Year's. Actually, I'm having a live stream New Year's Eve. So no, ain't nobody gonna be watching Ready to Love. Y'all should have canceled it that week too. But anywho, before I really get into like the brown girl debacle, you know what? Let me just go ahead and address it. I myself didn't take any issue with these ladies calling themselves the Brown Girl Crew, the Brown Girl Squad, none of that. I did not feel that they were making this statement to be in opposition of lighter skinned women. I didn't sense that at all. I know a whole debacle kicked off on Instagram about the whole thing, and I will say I did not follow the debacle. I paid no attention to it for real. I saw that Camille went on an apology tour, but what I was reading, she could have kept that shit to herself, you know, because I'm sick of her throwing God into this equation when she does very God-less actions. I'm a flawed Christian. And I know I make mistakes, but God, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And only he could judge me, so there's that. You know, that's the type of mentality that she have. And so she keeps using God and her flawed Christianness as as means to justify her bullshit. That's what Camille does, and it really fucking annoys me. It really does. I'm not a Christian. I was raised as a Christian, but I'm not somebody that walks around like I'm a Christian this, I'm a Christian that. No, and it annoys the shit out of me that she continuously uses the Lord's name in this fashion. She uses it to manipulate Cornelius. She uses it to try to manipulate her friends. I know y'all the real ones rock with me. You know what I'm saying? Y'all see God in me. No, we don't. I don't care if you drew him. You don't see him in you, girl. Her apologies are bullshit. They are bullshit. But blah, blah, blah. As far as the Brown Girl Squad is concerned, and people say that they're being reverse colorists, which I don't even think is a fucking thing. But I didn't get that vibe. I didn't get that vibe from them at all. I wasn't offended by them calling themselves Brown Girls Squad at all. What I have received from them, and it's really 2 out of the 3, because I really don't pick this up from Amin. I received that they are very territorial over the men that they want. The men that aren't theirs, they're very territorial over them. They think that they are better than everyone else around them, everybody else in the room. And it's a grave arrogance versus being confident. That's what they're displaying to me. I mean, as my grandma would say, they act like they shit don't stink. That's what I get from the Brown Girl Squad, minus Mumin. It's kind of sad Mumin is lumped in there with him, but birds of a feather flock together. You lay down the dogs, you wake up with fleas. One of those statements will apply to her in this particular situation. That's all I'm saying. So let's get the elimination out the way. I was wrong. I was wrong about this one too, but I ain't ever been so happy being so wrong in my life, child. Never been so happy. What I found interesting though about this elimination was that Zadia told Naeem, I peeped this fact, I don't know if y'all picked up on it, that it was him and Cornelius who was in the bottom 2. To me, it seemed like she was insinuating that they were targeted, and that's why both of these men were in the bottom. And whatever he's been fed, because he's been fed some bullshit, it makes Naeem seem understandable as to why he's there today, because he's clearly made connections with everybody. No, you haven't, bro. No, you haven't, bro. So to him, in his mind, there couldn't be any other reason why I'm in the bottom. That's what I got from her saying, well, they put you and Cornelius up. Okay, so I now can see why Naeem was kind of defending her, or on the defense somewhat. At the end, during deliberations, Camille, she went and sat down with Cornelius. Baby, she sat down with all the tears and all the drama that she could muster. I don't know who did it better, her or Ike Tina. They always leave me, Anime. I'm not gonna leave you, Ike. I'm just saying, that's what I was picking up from Camille. You know what I'm saying? She sat down there with all that drama, all them tears. And the response that Anime gave Ike was basically what Cornelius did. Now. Don't cry now. You don't cry. It's okay. It'll be okay. You know what I'm saying? We know he an actor. But Camille, baby, you did a damn thing on this one. You was acting your ass off, okay? But that's what emotional manipulators do. That's what they do. And by the way, y'all, I did see the photos. That man looked scared as hell in them. And just in case y'all didn't know, there's more photos to come. Very much more of them. That man looks scared as hell in them photos. Now, when I did my research earlier, for those of y'all who have been here for a while, if you haven't been here for a while, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and make sure you comment down in the comment section. Join the channel if you want to become a lifer. Get some little special perks. We got merch about to come on the way. You get special exclusive videos, the grown folks session, and all that shit. All that there. Anywho, back to the review. When I did my research on them earlier, because I do my own research for the casting call to try to find out who these people really are, that particular photo that they showed, the 2 photos that they showed, he has done that same photo shoot with another girl who resembles Camille. It's a model that he's been working with for years. Her IG is I Slay the Runway, if I'm not mistaken. And I seen that picture. When I first saw it, I was like, they gotta be Photoshopped. If it ain't Photoshop, they just recreated that same image. You know, it's a professional photo shoot that he did with this girl. He wasn't attracted to her or wasn't involved with her. They was just doing a photo shoot. Anywho, so I said, you know what, let me go find it. Because me and Dorlinda Tracy TV was talking about it. I said, let me go find it. Now, y'all see him posted on Cornelius Bryant Dream Chaser. That's his Instagram, right? He has 3. His other one was I Am Legacy. Since the show started, he has made I Am Legacy a private account. Which I know Zadia, Camille, and Mumin are all following him on that account. He also had one called C. Bryant the Model. That's where all those photos were shown. And there's still one photo lingering out there that he had the blue jeans on with the top off with the other girl. I Slay the Runway. I don't know what her real name is. That photo's still out there. You could, and that's where the photo shoot is from. That's what I'm saying. That's why I believe it's 2017. But he's disabled C. Bryant the Model with all the photos on it. And I'm not sure if you can go to his website, that the model agency he worked for, and see those pictures. That may be where all the pictures are still at. And maybe I see. I was digging my ass off though doing that casting call research. Anywho, this might be a long recap, y'all. So, by the grace of God, you know what I'm saying? My God. Camille decided to leave with him. Yes, Cornelius got eliminated. And Cornelius didn't look happy when she said that she was self-eliminating. He was like, huh? I mean, are you sure? That's the look that he was giving me, right? You know, I'm like, bye. See you later, bye, girl. Sayonara, hasta luego. Get the fuck out of here. Deuces. That's how I was feeling when she said she was going to roll with him. And Cornelius was looking like, oh, damn, I thought this was going to be over with. Because in his confessionals, he was saying, the one thing that I regretted is not making connections with other women. He said, I'm going to miss Camille. And then he realized he had to take her ass home. That's what it was. Camille didn't have no ride home because nobody else fucked with Camille. Nobody else liked her like that. So she didn't have no ride home. Zadia was cool. She could either ride home with Naeem. The fuck was that? Or she could ride home with Mumin. One of the two, you know what I'm saying? So she wasn't worried about Zadia getting home. They left together. And Cornelius like, Lord Jesus, I don't know what the hell I'm going to do with myself. He didn't say those words, but I said it for him, okay? He was like, it's bittersweet. It was. It got sour real quick, didn't it, Camille? I called you Camille. Girl, child. She has hashtagged them and called them cornmeal. What they call that, shipping them, and she calls them cornmeal. Where am I at? Okay, so like I said, she was crying and all in tears and stuff, and decided to self-eliminate. And I'm thinking, Camille, what was the tears for, boo? If you knew that you were going to eliminate yourself with him, because you know you ain't got no other connections, what was all the tears for? Miss me with the bullshit. As Kendrick would say, miss me with that bullshit. You ain't really wild, you're a tourist. Camille, girl, bye. Okay. Anyway, before the rest of them leave the house, Phil went to go see Shiloh. She was in the kitchen cooking some wings or whatever. And he said because he was trying to be with the other women, plural, and get to vibe with them, he made himself emotionally and physically unavailable for Shiloh. And I was like, that has to feel like shit to her. This is the time and the moment that we're supposed to be solidifying our connections. Okay, you're supposed to be trying to determine who is your one with this retreat here. And you're still out here vibing with other women. Plural. He said with the other women. He didn't say with another woman. With the other women. Okay. So that tells me it's more than Sydney that Phil is still rocking with. Maybe Aisha. We saw him a couple of times still, you know, with her by her side. So I guess she was still on the plate. Oh, what the fuck? That was one of them little fur babies. Like this thing, little flying around scared the shit out of me. I don't like flying stuff, y'all. Okay, so anywho, Shiloh wanted to play 20 questions, and I'm like, I guess this is what she does to get to know someone deeper. This is what she does in her intimacy practice. But this is not one of your intimacy sessions, boo. You feeling some kind of way about this man, especially about his absence and your insecurity or your unsurety about who you are. So say something to him. But Phil was down with it. He was open for it. And this did allow her to tell him that she's been real hesitant about putting her heart on the line. But ultimately, she was choosing him. He leaned in, gave her some sugar, and was saying, see, this is what I'm talking about, right? And instantly, she was like, well, why was the kiss so short? And he was like, oh. Man, that annoyed sigh that he gave, it told me that she does that often. It tells me that she does not trust in the moment that's happening, that she doesn't trust in the feelings that she has for him or what he may have for her, and that she doesn't trust him, period. It sounds to me is that if he does show her any type of affection or make any type of remark or statement that suggests that he does feel her in some kind of way, she questions it. That's what I'm picking up just from that little scenario. I don't know if it was just me. It might have been just me. I know a lot of people on Twitter was like, oh, Phil, you a dog. Why you play her like that? Just from those reactions from him finally giving her a kiss and saying, see, no, we could do that, right? Because she wants him to be more affectionate and more open in public and not just behind closed doors. So he then says in his confessional that he feeling Shiloh. He really feeling her. It's a strong connection there. And he wants her to feel comforted in knowing that he has some type of feeling for her. However, he still wants to get to know Sydney. So what that's saying to me, Phil, this is what you said to me, is that you still got options. And you're not ready to shut those options down yet. You like where you at. You like the dating game right now. You say you're using this as a moment of clarity, but we almost at the end of the road, dog. We have come to the end of the road, and you still ain't let go of these other hoes. That's what she said. Okay. But at the same time, you don't want to say or do the wrong shit to piss Shiloh off, because she just may walk away and then you be left with nothing. My hair look crazy. Let me get my fro together. Okay, so Dante and Aisha meet up, right? One last time before they leave the house. He needed to let her know that he was there for her, what his intentions were. And even though he has unfinished business with Zadia, he wants to continue to build with Aisha, right? Aisha's like, you know what? I feel that same way about you. I like that it's reciprocated. I think the massage of the gluteus maximus did it. I would not be hard pressed to believe that Aisha and Dante and Zadia, they've slept together at this point. Not as a threesome, but Dante slept with both women at this point. That's what I'm feeling. That's what I'm sensing. That's what I'm gathering. Okay. I think that in the instance of the situation that happened between Aisha and Zadia, Dante decided to pull away from Zadia for this particular reason. I think that Aisha is acknowledging that she was acting fucked up, okay? That she was out of pocket. However, what she's doing is stating her reason for doing it and stating that she's not apologizing for acting out of pocket because she was tired of it, whatever. Zadia, on the other hand, seems to be saying, well, she just need to be handled, and that's that on that. That's pretty much what I'm getting from her. So it seems like Zadia is saying, I did nothing wrong. She just needed to be checked. Okay. So, like I said last week, it's an accountability thing that Zadia is not doing or taking that is really turning Dante off. Zadia also took his consoling as him scolding her somewhat, and she feels that she was being chastised. Aisha, though, she takes it as him looking out for her best interest. So, and I think that, this is what I'm sensing that Dante is picking up from the sit too, which is making him draw more to Aisha than the Zadia. So where am I at? Where am I at my notes? Oh, so Aisha and Dante, they continue to move forward, and move closer to each other. Aisha's like, I'm already moving up to the front of the line. Zadia, her, she knows she was in the lead, but I'm moving closer, right? As far as Dante, he said he wants to address some things that's concerning him with Zadia. Now, in this particular moment, he's not saying that he's choosing Aisha. They're both just agreeing that they want to continue to build and grow with one another. So, Aisha and Dante and Phil and Sydney have formed new connections at this point, really late in the game, that they're going to try to build on. Okay, so Frank and Mumin, they went off for a little stroll. He gave her some little history lesson on DC. Most people from DC are already, up on that damn history. Most people in the United States, black culture, are already up on the history. But Mumin and Zadia, they not from Atlanta. They not from DC. They both from Atlanta. I don't know if y'all realize that too. That might be the thing too. I think Camille's from Atlanta too. It's just a connection that they bonded with each other on. But I know that Zadia and Mumin are both from Atlanta. So anyway, Mumin, she was impressed by his little history lesson. Mumin has already shut the door on Walter in her mind. But she knows that Frank is still feeling Sydney. So she said, you know what? I need to focus on Frank. I need to put his mind on me more than his mind is on Sydney, right? So Frank took a book from Corey. Remember old corny Corey? Right. And he's trying to win Mumin over by giving her a little sentimental gift. He saw how well that worked for Corey in relation to Mumin. So, why not try it? The difference between Corey and Frank is that Frank is still trying to be honest about the fact that he's still checking for somebody else. As with Corey, he was lying about that shit, right? Y'all realize that ever since I told y'all that Mumin and Corey was still hanging around? You probably don't even realize because you don't even know how I noticed this. Me and Corey was still hanging around, but when I said it in this video, they stopped. Or at least they stopped posting about it. I think they are still hanging around, but they stopped posting about it. Anywho, where am I in my notes? Franklin, I know. I'm feeling you. I really am. But I have to be honest, I am feeling Sydney too, okay? So he said, I try to connect with everybody pretty much, but I think you are getting closer and closer to the person I think I want to spend my time with. I enjoy being here with you. It's growing immensely compared to anyone else. So Mumin said, what, things shifted for me. Her and the Walter situation. And she said, nah, Frank, you the one, boy. So he said, well, now, slow your roll. Let me tell you why I said. I think Mumin appreciated this more than what Walter was doing. Because Walter was basically like, don't be petty, don't be catty, don't worry about nobody else but me and you. And Frank was like, look, I just need to let you know what's really going on. I don't want to Okay, so I think Mumin really appreciated that, and she's open to him still exploring with Sydney and not feeling like she being neglected in the process. So Dante, Dante go and meet up with Zadia. He tells her, I got a real strong connection with Aisha. Even though, he tells us he has a real strong connection with Aisha, even though he still is connected to Zadia too. So at this point, he wants to let Zadia know what his next move is and where where she stands in his eyes, right? She come in, her energy already off. She said it herself. She was like, I came in high strung because she feels like he just pulled Aisha out of thin air on her. And then ghosted her in the process. So she got questions. Now, this energy that I'm sensing when she walked in here, that was the same energy I felt that she gave Dante at the house. Remember I said Dante came in like, hey, Zadia. And she was like, hey, still looking through a suitcase. She didn't go up and hug him, embrace him or nothing. He was like, I'm just trying to find a room. She's like, go check the other side of the house. And then she would walk past him with Naeem and not acknowledge him, but then said he was ignoring her all week. No, you give him that same energy, sis. You give him the same energy, right? She was cold. She was distant, in my opinion. So he says to her the same thing. He said, Aisha, I know the weekend was rough. There was a lot of tension. I want to know how you feel about what was going on. That's how he kind of opened up with Aisha too, right? And she had this look on her face like, nigga, please. Okay. So he asked again, how are you feeling, right? That wasn't a rhetorical question. I was really trying to figure out how you was feeling. So she said, well, I felt like you abandoned me. I was left confused and insecure because I didn't know what had happened between you and Aisha. And so Dante was like, I don't ask you about what you do on your dates, you know what I'm saying? Or what you do with others. So why would what happened between me and Aisha be a concern to you? She says, she feels like they share a lot. And him getting that intimate, that he's giving her massages and things like that, with Aisha is something that she thinks she should have known. So Aisha couldn't have blindsided her with that at the, doggone deliberations. But again, his point was, I don't discuss what you do with other men. I don't go to other men and discuss what you did with them. Okay? So whatever Aisha wanted to talk about in that confessional, that was on Aisha. But I don't have an obligation to come tell you about it. But I get her point. I hate that I'm saying this because Zadia's got on my nerves, but I understood what Zadia was saying. Zadia felt like their connection and their bond was so strong that there was nothing that they couldn't talk about. So if you started feeling something for Aisha to the point where you wanted to get intimate with her in that way, I think that's something that me and you probably would have talked about. Okay? But Dante feels like we both signed up for this process. Within this process, we were supposed to connect with and date multiple people. Okay? And out of respect for the process, me downloading you on what I'm doing with other people is not part of the journey. I don't have to be required. You feel like I'm obligated to tell you something because we made a connection. And I don't. That's pretty much what it is. Now, like I said, I clearly understood what Zadia was saying. I understood it. I just agreed with Dante more. This is a dating process. What you do with Tom, Dick, and Harry is not concern for me at this point. Our connection should be our concern. But you so focused on what I'm doing with Aisha and what Aisha comes say up in the doggone, she was like, if I had some man, I wouldn't have let anybody else rub up on me because that's why she feels more connected to him. So she's not going to let somebody else get that touchy, feely with her. And if she did, she's thinking out of respect, I would have told your ass about it because I care about you that much. So she's feeling since he's not reciprocating that, he doesn't care about her that much. I get it. But like I said, I agree with the process. You signed up for this process. Okay. Where am I at? It's in my notes. It sounds to me like they already slept together. I said it earlier. Okay, so my theory, she don't like Aisha. And again, I do not think it's a brown girl thing because Aisha is just as brown as they are. They made cracks about her accent. They made cracks about her being from New York. They have a problem with that because, like I said, they feel like they the baddest bitches in the room. Ain't nobody else shit, especially if you an outsider. Again, I told y'all before, or maybe I didn't. Or maybe I just talked to some other people about it. Aisha has consistently voted Cornelius in the bottom every week. Camille and Zadia are ace boom coons way before this show. The show makes them disconnect their accounts, their main accounts, and any photos that show that they were already friends or had relationships prior to the show taping. The show requires them in their contract to disengage and to take away those photos. Doing my research, I found out that they was already friends. That's how I found out that Camille and Moline was cousins. Doing my research, I found out that one of her other family members' pages. Okay, anywho, so, but for what I know, Aisha has voted Cornelius to be in the bottom every week. Zadia took offense to that because she takes up for her friend Camille. You see that? We've seen that on the show. She takes up for her. Zadia took offense to that. On top of the fact, Aisha is trying to make sure she dates everyone. She had already made an attempt on Naeem to date him. If y'all remember last week, Zadia made the statement that I told Naeem he could have friends. Aisha was one of the people she was referring to. You can have friends, but don't you do shit else. And I think she wanted Dante to follow that same ruling because Naeem did. Naeem didn't make any further connections with anybody else. Dante, though, remember, if y'all think back on a couple episodes, they were meeting up and she said something to Dante along the lines like, yeah, you like everybody and everybody like you. She said it in one of the deliberations. Everybody like Dante. But she said it directly to Dante. You seem to like everybody, right? That's what I'm talking about. Dante says he had already been making conversation with Aisha. Up until the time that they got into the house, they hadn't even got together face to face. So when they got to the house, this was their time to really connect. But on top of that, on top of the fact that she been voting Cornelius in the bottom, Aisha has. She done made connections with everybody, and now she really, one of Zadia's connections have really started filling her in return. They also had a code. I told y'all this before. I told y'all this in previous seasons. These people be making pact with each other not to kick off certain people. They made pact with each other not to date certain people. And according to the code, Aisha done broke it. Sydney broke it. That's why Sydney was such an issue too. But they tried to make it seem like it was like the brown girl crew against the light skinned people, which, yeah. No, Sydney's been trying to get to know everybody as well. That's the problem. Okay, so I said all that part. I said all that part. I said all that part. I went all that part too. Okay. So they get into the conversation, and she said, you know, you plan massages and cookouts with Aisha, but nothing with me. Why? She was hurt when she said that. Why? She was like, why? She was hurt. Okay. He said, because it appeared to me that you had already made your choice. And it appeared that way to me, Dante. That's what I said in last week's review. It appeared that way to me as well. He said, I pursued you and you kept shutting the door. I'm not going to keep knocking on the door that you don't want to open up and let me in when I'm trying to get inside. It ain't rocket science, sis. It ain't rocket science at all, right? So he said, I have been communicating with Aisha from the beginning. We've always talked. Our connection happened organically. She like, so what you saying then? He said, I'm feeling Aisha, right? Now, he didn't say that he was choosing Aisha. He just said he was feeling Aisha. And that they had built a connection. She was like, and that right there, that's that bullshit. I said, uh-oh. She said, now you communicating this with me? Now you saying it? He was like, yes. And I'm like, Zadia, before this weekend, before this retreat, they hadn't been together. It's just been phone conversation. So now he wants to know how they rock in person and make sure that it's not just a phone crush. Okay. So yes, now he's just now communicating it with you because he really has just really started building the type of connection that they wanted to build with one another. So she's like, so you didn't care about me at all? And again, I say they slept together. Okay. He didn't answer, or at least they edited that part out. But he said, what do you think? Her response was like, no. You have fun with Aisha and her long talks about nothing. I was like, and you shading her for what, Ma? You shading her for what? You asking him, did he care about you when you say, go and have fun with Aisha and her long, boring talks about what? Evidently, he liked them long talks. He liked them long talks instead of running up kissing your ass. That's basically what it is, right? So she walked away. She talking to herself like, what the fuck? Is this what you really gonna do? This what you really doing? Okay. You know, we get that point. We talk to ourselves, you know. He raised his glass of wine like, cheers, you know, see you later, bye, right? And they brought his food. And he was like, you know, You know what? I'm not letting this vegan risotto go to waste. The waiter was like, my bad, sorry your date left. I'm going to bring you another glass of wine, right? He was like, okay, thank you. She was calling somebody on the phone, probably Camille, and then she decides to go back. She said, he made her horns come out. No, girl, that was you. Your horns have always been there. We just didn't see them, but them horns was there, okay? And he would not allow her to say who he was to her, where he stood with her. I was like, you had the floor, mama. You had the floor. He didn't shut you down. He didn't tell you that you was dismissed. You got up and walked away. So how the hell is he mishandling you? Okay, what was supposed to happen? He's supposed to come run up after her ass. That's what that was. He was supposed to run up after her. She turned around and he wasn't right there coming up towards her, right there behind her. And so he was sitting back there at the table happily eating his risotto. She said, not today, not today, say, my bad. We're not going to allow him to enjoy that good ass risotto. We're not going to let him enjoy that meal. We want him to be miserable just as I am. So she went back and then she got in his face. Dante, I thought it couldn't have been you. Got in his face and said, this is fucked up. She pointed at his food because he was still sitting there eating instead of chasing after her ass, right? And she said, I was about to choose your ass before the house, before all this other shit happened. He said, you would have rolled with me? She said, yes, I would have rolled with you. He said, but you didn't. She said, that's because you showed your true colors this weekend. Still in his face, pointing her fingers in his face, poking his damn nose. It was on his face like I could cold cock this bitch right now. That's the look he had on his face, but he didn't. He said the cameras are on right now, right? He said, did you say your piece? You done? And she's like, no, you a fraud. You a fake. That's all I'm saying. So she walked off again. He went back to his risotto. Like, Jesus, please be a rice grain. Please be a rice grain. That's how he was looking with that risotto, baby. She said it wasn't about playing second fiddle to Aisha, would I have you first or second fiddle? What it was about was playing the fiddle that you wanted to be. And I was like, somebody please explain that to me. Y'all explain that to me down in the comment section what she meant by that. Did she just want to be the only fiddle for him and the only fiddle for Naeem? Did she forget she had a second option as well? Then she went on to say that Aisha was dense and dumb. I cannot wait for this reunion. I'm not condoning violence, but I need Aisha to drag her ass for filth. Drag her, virtually, metaphorically, drag her motherfucking ass for filth. But she gonna have her whole team back up there with it again. I realize if y'all watching Carrie's Instagram, the one who got eliminated early, Carrie be on it, baby. She done told all the little tea. She don't like that ass either. Okay. Because I'm like, so since you was going to choose him, Zadia, does that make you dumb and dense too? Okay. I'm just asking questions, sir, girl. I'm just asking questions. I don't know what it was, but I know what it is. What that was? Aggressive. That was you being aggressive, Zadia. You said last week that you didn't like being called aggressive, and I said I'm just calling a spade, and here you are right now digging yourself into the ground, showing us that we were right. You aggressive as fuck, just okay. You put your hands on that man. It's a good thing the cameras was around. It's a good thing he wasn't one of them type of dudes that would lay you the fuck out. You better thank your stars that wasn't that type of man. I hate hoes like that. I hate hoes that put their hands on men for two reasons. They do it because one, they want to get a reaction out of him so they can cry victim, or two, they want to feel like they punked his ass and he didn't hit me back. You know, they feel like they did something, they won something, and she really feel like she won some shit in that moment. Next up was Walter and Sabrina. Sabrina said they finally getting one-on-one time. I told you they hadn't went on no dates other than outside of the mixers and those group dates. That's exactly what she said. After the house though, he was kind of ghosting on her too, right? You know, she was wearing this little black catsuit, and he said, "You look like you could be a madam." I was like, Now, Sabrina didn't take offense to that, but I did. Considering she had told him her past as a stripper. And she had posted on Twitter about her winning the competition in 2002. And let me pause for a moment. Her mom did pass. We send out our condolences and love to Sabrina's soul. Her mother did pass. But yeah, she posted on Instagram about her being a stripper. It's on her YouTube channel. I told y'all what her YouTube channel was when I first joined, did the casting special. She competed in the competition in 2002, Miss Black Nude or something like that, Miss Black Nude. I think I saw that episode on HBO. And they went down to Jamaica and did it. And if I remember it correctly, when she won, I was thinking, y'all let that motherfucking Asian girl beat y'all out. That was my thought. If that's the same show, I'm thinking that's what it was. And Walter's like, I think I seen her. That might have been the same one, Walter. That might be the same one. But he claimed he's not being judgmental, but you are, because you keep bringing it up. I just want to hear him say what he's implying about her. Why it's such a concern for him that she used to be a stripper. You used to be a hoe. You told us that. Your whole day is just put behind you when you started filming. So, okay. Anyway, Sabrina said she wasn't a hoe then. She said she was worried about trying to catch some shit, so she wasn't fucking everybody back then either. That's what she said. Okay. So now Sabrina says that at the retreat he told her that he was going to solely focus on her, but then she didn't hear from him. So she feels like he chose her by default. I think he was leaning more towards you, Sabrina. I really do. Especially since Phil made it known that she was flip-flopping on having babies. Sabrina said before, I think on one of her Twitter tweets, because I'm not on her Instagram, so I think on one of her Twitter tweets, she had said that she would have a baby for the right person, but it's something that she really needs to consider since she's already over the age of 40, which was kind of contradictory. I think that was around the time that the Sean issue came up, and he was talking about how she was maternal, and Sabrina just wasn't feeling Sean. He wasn't the right person to have kids for. So she said she would consider it. And remember, I kept asking, like, why would Walter want to be with her? Because he want kids, and she don't. It's an option. She ain't finna have no damn babies for Walter. You better not, girl. You better not. But she said she gonna take it slow, and she ain't finna just be like smiling because he said the right thing in a moment. You know, so she ain't finna do that. But yeah, she was flip flopping back and forth. Phil is the one that brought that up in deliberations, that she was flip-flopping back and forth about whether or not she have kids. Since he didn't like the flip-floppization, that's why he didn't want to give Sabrina his time. That's the week that he voted her in the bottom. Okay. But I still think Walter just wants to date. But I'm a little confused at Phil. At the retreat, Phil said that he had been neglecting Shiloh emotionally and physically. But now he's about to have this date with Sydney. And he says, well, I spent a lot of time with Shiloh at the retreat, so now I want to give Sydney some of my time. You're not making sense, Phil. You're not making sense. I ran it back just to make sure I heard it right. You said when she was about to do that love language card game that you had been neglecting her physically and emotionally. What's up with the physical? I want what physical? Y'all screwing too? I mean, because look, sex is her love language. Okay. Anywho, Sydney is always so damn giddy, and it's annoying sometimes that she's so giddy to me. And Naeem said later on in the episode that her voice was irritating. Yes, Lord, I have to agree. Her voice is irritating as fuck. I forgot what it's called when you make your voice sound that way, because that's not her natural tone of voice. My daughter does it sometimes when she talking to her non-black friends, and it's almost similar to code switching. When you speak to your nasal passage, oh my God, what is it called? What is it called? Is it the vocal fry? Oh my God, talking like that, stuff like that. Yeah, that's what Sydney does, and it's irritating as fuck to me. I'm glad Naeem said it at the end, but I don't like the way he said it. He said it in a petty type of way. Anywho, this is Phil and Sydney's second date, and she said she doesn't expect him to be totally open, even though he did open up to her doing this. They are still getting to know each other, and basically they just came to an agreement that they want to continue to get to know each other, which means Phil ain't choosing Shiloh because he wants to continue to get to know Sydney right now. He says his connection with Shiloh is hella strong, but Sydney has captured his attention. So he noticed she rocking with Frank, so he asked her what's up with that. She said pretty much the same thing. I'm cool. I'm connected with Frank. He's my strong connection, whatever. However, I want me and you to get to the same level that me and Frank is at. Are you willing to do that? So they both agreed. And then she said something about wetting your whistle, and they leaned in and he gave her a kiss. And I mean, it wasn't the same smooch that he gave Shiloh earlier, you know what I'm saying? He was able to verbally say, you know, I'm feeling you like that, like that, like that. Openly with Sydney. He didn't do that with Shiloh earlier, but he leaned in, gave her a kiss. He lingered there for a moment, then went in for seconds, went up and down her arm. I was like, Phil, what is you doing? We down the home stretch, homie, and you still stretching out, boy. Baby, it's just sexual, Phil. It is just sexual. He said that they conversate on a more deeper level, but they hadn't. So when he sat there and told them, yeah, well, conversations are always non-surface, you know, it's more, no, it's not, because you just said it at this date. Now we need to start to get on more deeper level. It has not been deep. Stop the lie. Stop the lie. So anyway, he mentioned though that he and Shiloh had some bumps in the road. I be picking up on these little tidbits, and I was like, "Do tell, Franklin. Do tell. What are these bumps in the road that you and Shiloh are having? I must know this, right?" Well, it's deliberation time. Oh my God, this video is long as hell. It's deliberation time. Tommy asked what happened at the house, right? Naeem didn't want to name names. He was like, you know, he got a little tense, voices got raised. Of course, Tommy being messy, he's like, whose voices got raised? So Frank broke it on down. I like the way that he laid it all out. It's very clear. He was like, you know, he said something to Aisha ended up storming out at the end. Aisha did not storm out. Phil and Dante had to escort her ass out. Naeem, he jetted back in the conversation. He was like, you know, Aisha was naming names and that could be perceived as an attack on somebody, right? And that's what ignited everything. Then they got onto the brown girl conversation. Tommy took it to mean, you know, they being haters on the light-skinned people by calling themselves that. Like I said, I beat that with like a dead horse, you know what I'm saying? I did not get that from them at all. I did not see that as coming off that way. I don't follow them on social media, so I follow Zadia. I don't think I've ever heard her say it, but I don't follow her lives. Her lives boring as fuck. But you know, I didn't see that. You know, and Frank said that, you know, he just heard them say it. Naeem broke it down. I don't think they meant it that way. They just vibed together, whatever. I mean, let's be honest. They chocolate. They dark skin. They brown skin. They melanated women. Okay. Everybody here in the YouTube world who's doing videos on them. There's 1,400 videos out here on Ready to Love. Every doggone reviewer has described these women as being the brown skinned girls, the dark skinned girls, the melanated girls, the chocolate girls. They so happy to see the representation on TV. So now when they speak of it themselves, y'all got a problem with it? Y'all got an attitude with it? Do we need to just be mad over every motherfucking thing? I mean, let's not all lives matter this shit, for real. Let's not all lives matter it. It's a fact that darker skinned women have always been dogged, talked about. Not fuck white people. We talking about by our own motherfucking people. We've called them ugly. We've called them roaches. We call them tar babies and many other names. And now that these three women are here on TV celebrating their brownness, they have a moment in which they can celebrate their brownness. You know what I'm saying? Amongst our people, now we want to have a problem with it, take issue with it, like, you know, they in a moment where they could celebrate their complexion after years of being dogged out by us, by their own motherfucking people. And they can do it with confidence. So let's not shit on their parade. Like, for real. That's all I'm going to say about that. I ain't going to even talk to y'all about it down in the comment section. They're going to piss me off and make me mad. So anywho, who like who? Walter says Sabrina, but she was a stripper. Dude, why you keep bringing it up if it ain't bothering you, okay? Dante says Aisha, she done moved up in the ranks. Naeem says Zadia, you know, she's always been 100 with him. Frank says Mumin and Sydney. Phil says Shiloh and Sydney. And again, there was something about Shiloh that Phil said that got me like, Tommy said something about being vulnerable and everything. He says for the most part she is. For me, I don't see Shiloh as being one that opens up. I just don't. This is me, not for you. I think Shiloh is an introvert, or she's a bit introverted, which is why she felt comfortable with Crazy Eyes. Tyrone, I think that was his name. I think Shiloh is good at getting other people to open up to her. But when it comes to her opening up to them, she does it with a lot of hesitation. I think that Shiloh has a lot of trust issues. Did I bring that up in the casting special before? I need to watch my casting special back to see if I said that about her. I thought she had trust issues. Anyway, now who's their nose? Dante tells them about the interaction with Zadia. Baby, did y'all see Frank's face when he said it? Couldn't be me. That's basically what his face said. Tommy's like, say what now? Say what? So, you know Tommy was already told this information. Production already let you know, Tommy, so stop acting like this is a shock to you. Anyway, Tommy paused and said, Naeem, so how you feel about that, man? Okay? He said, I feel fine. Me and Tommy both said, really? You feel fine? Okay. Then Naeem said a line that a pre-abused woman would have said. They don't act like that with me. I don't give them a reason to act that way. What my girl Erica De Niro's on Erica De Niro TV, Erica say, Naeem, check the Yelp reviews. Check them, baby. That's what she means when she says this. This woman has gotten aggressive with this man. That she felt she needed to physically touch him. She needed to physically emote on him. Because she felt hurt that he chose another woman. Not even over her, that he just chose another woman that she would hang with. Like he started forming feelings, likeness to this other woman. She got so irate and so hurt by that. You're supposed to be her other option. Why would she get that upset? I'm just like, I don't understand. I don't understand how you can't see that, Naeem. Like, he said, you know, I don't get that way. It's not that way with me. And then Tommy's like, man, you should be taking this moment to be able to have some foresight down the road. Some point down the road, see what may have happened. I'm like, come on, Danny Lee. That's what I wanted to call Naeem. Come on, Danny Lee. Like, Frank. It's like, dude, she may not be that way with you. She may never had an encounter with you. But at the same time, this has become a pattern with Zadia, which means this has happened more than once. So Aisha was right. She comes off as aggressive often. One time is not a pattern, so that means she's done it more than once. Naeem says, you know, I've seen some things, but I choose to be Cornelius. I choose to ignore this. I choose to ignore the red flags. I look past the obvious. I look past what I'm seeing. Meaning, I pretend it's not fucking happening. So I could see behind her and reach for that potential, hoping that her potential is what's going to surface at some point. She's a good person at heart, although her soul is somewhat conflicted, sir. Her soul is conflicted. Dante's like, bro, you really ain't that, you really that perplexed? Or you aren't perplexed? He said, you aren't perplexed as to why she's putting her hands on me? Or the negativity that she's exuding? You know what? Tommy said, bro, don't be stupid. I translated what he said, but that's what he meant. Naeem is like, you know what? I don't give off that energy, so I don't get that energy. As if Dante gave off some type of energy to make her, you know, put her hands in his face and, you know, poke his nose or what have you, right? So what I'm gathering is that Zadia done came to Naeem and said Dante did this, that, and the third, and I had to defend myself. I had to show him who the fuck I was, right? And he's like, okay, you can do that. I understand. I don't get why these people are so determined to make it to the end. That's what Naeem, I don't want to get kicked off. I want to make it to the end, whatever. I know, if y'all didn't know, they do get paid for Ready to Love. What I don't know is if they get a bigger stipend if they make it to the end. I know the show put a ring on it. They get paid to be on that show as well, which is why so many actors try out for this show. I'm going to ask around, y'all, to find out if they get a stipend. I still talk to Aisha. I still talk to Tandy. I still talk to Brent from season 3. So I still talk to KB. I still talk to Simone. I'm going to ask them about, see if they get a stipend at the end. Anywho, Tommy says when you see these actions, dog, you need to use them to see down the road. But I don't know who else. Naeem says Sydney because her voice is annoying. Like I said, I agree. But the way he had to say it, I was like, why you have to say it like that, dog? Her voice is annoying. I was like, Frank says Zaddy and Shiloh is his bottom. Walter says Mumin. Phil says Mumin is cool, just not a romantic interest. My bad, Frank. No shade. So Mumin and Zadia, they in the bottom. Naeem, go ahead and bow out now, bro. That's what I'm telling you, bow out, because Zadia is gone. If she stay, I'ma know something. Her backup is gone. You know, her and Camille like to start shit together. Mumin is not a fighter, so the one person that was on her team to ride with her for real, you know, she ain't got that. She's not comforted in that moment anymore. So Phil gets to talk to Zadia. Walter to Mumin. Mumin says she's ready because she wanted to let him know she out the door for him anyway. Zadia says she was on high alert when she walked in. She put on her baddest dress in her closet. That shit was hideous. My girl on Twitter, Nepati Uhuru says, well, literally, it was bad. Okay, it was bad. So she wasn't lying. That dress, that was a hot mess. What was up with the tulle on the shoulders and on the side here? Girl, on that leather, you need to stop. I hope you ain't selling that in your boutique. All these motherfuckers got boutiques, right? Anywho, so Phil saying, you know, I want to get your take on what happened. Again, she going with the bullshit. Like, what date are you talking about? There's been so many. Feel like you know what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I'm talking about. This is why you don't show fucking accountability. She was like, Naeem showed up, Dante disappeared, and plus he was being a coward. And yeah, I poked him in the face, but that's beside the point. He deserved it. Mumin, like, you know, I ain't heard from you since the pool. Not since the house, since the pool. He said, well, you walked away, so I was done. And he says, you know, I pulled away. She said, well, you pulled away before then. You didn't talk to me. You didn't check on me. You didn't even know what room I was in the damn house, right? And he said, well, she gonna be difficult like this. She just eliminated herself. I'm thinking, okay, if Mumin is telling the truth, then she's not being difficult. She's calling you on your bullshit. But, you know, I think he wanted to date Mumin because she's younger. He wants to somebody he can mold. And she really not that person. She has a little immaturity about her, but she ain't somebody that you can mold. Anywho, he wanted her to sit off to the wayside, you know, and stay in the child's place. And why he tended grown folks matters over there with Sabrina. She was supposed to not feel some type of way, even though, like I said, he said it was a setup. I do agree that was a setup. I don't know how long this video will be. I'm sorry, y'all. I do believe that was a setup because, like I said, y'all play that tape back. Camille, Mumin saw them. She turned around. She walked out. She was angry. She ran into Camille and Cornelius. Then all of a sudden, Camille and Mumin are standing there at the piano, looking at Walter from the opposite side. Walter was not paying them no mind. He didn't look up. So Mumin walked around because you saw Camille look at her like this. Mumin walked around and started rubbing on the back of his damn neck, right? And Walter was like ignoring her. I felt some way for you ignoring me too. What he should have said was, don't play these fucking games with me. Or, can you give some space? I'll get back to you later, right? He should have said that. She could have done the Dante. She could have came in and said, excuse me, Sabrina, can I borrow Walter for a minute? She could have did that, you know what I'm saying? Like, the men do that, you know what I'm saying? But, yeah, and if he would have pretended he didn't know her then you knew what was up for real. So, anywho, when we didn't get to stay, Zadia, bye, 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 you know what I'm saying? Hell, she said it before Phil said it. He like, how you gonna tell me what I was gonna say? She said, Dante already badmouthed me. I already know. He already said I was insane, said I was crazy. It is what it is. So since she gone, Naeem gone too. It was pointless for him to stay. He didn't pursue anybody else. He had his eyes on because of her. So Tommy tried to enlighten him. Zadia likes Dante. And it appears he was her first choice. Think about that. Think about you being the backup. And he's like, well, you know, that may be possible. So Tommy said, well, the possibility is even stronger because of the outrage she exhibited, right? Why did that push her button so much when she already had you? And he said, well, you know, it's definitely a habitual offender. So you admit that she's done this shit before. She habitually done it before, right? But he said, again, I'm just going to be Canadian and ignore the red flags. Nah, he didn't say that. What he said was, I think she just needs to do better in controlling her emotions. But I'm going to keep this combo tucked in the back of my head. And he going to break the glass when needed, y'all. This is a long video. Oh, my God. I didn't realize it was going to be this doggone long. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being patient. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and join the channel. Peace.